The unexpected visitors, Captain Elena Vasquez, stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel New Horizon, watching the stars shimmer through the main viewport. The coffee in her hands had grown cold during the past hour, but she barely noticed. Something felt different about this region of space. They had been charting unknown systems for 4 months now, cataloging planets and searching for signs of intelligent life. Today, that search was about to end in ways she never expected. "Captain," called Communications Officer Maya Chun from her station, her voice carrying an unusual tremor. "I'm detecting something extraordinary. Multiple signals, but they're unlike anything in our databases." Elena moved to Maya's workstation, studying the cascading waves of data across the screen. The patterns were intricate, almost musical in their complexity. "Can you isolate the source?" "Working on it, but Captain, these signals are incredibly powerful. Whatever's transmitting them has technology far beyond our current capabilities." Maya's fingers danced across her controls, trying to make sense of the alien communications. Doctor James Park, the ship's xenolinguist, looked up from his research terminal. He was a tall, thoughtful man who had spent his career preparing for this moment. "Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures approximately 3 million kilometers away. The sources are moving in formation, and they're heading directly toward us." Elena felt her pulse quicken. The New Horizon was built for exploration and scientific research, not combat. Their defensive systems were minimal, designed more for asteroid impacts than hostile encounters. "How many sources are we talking about, Dr. Park?" "At least 30. Distinct signatures, possibly more. Each one is generating enough energy to power a small city." Dr. Park's voice was steady, but Elena could see the concern in his eyes. Security Chief Marcus Webb stepped forward. He was a former military officer who had joined the exploration corps seeking adventure among the stars. "Captain, should I put the crew on alert status?" "Do it, but keep it quiet. No need to panic anyone until we know what we're dealing with." Elena watched as her bridge crew focused intently on their tasks, the atmosphere growing tense with anticipation. Maya suddenly straightened in her chair. "Captain, I've managed to decode part of their transmission. They're trying to communicate with us, but the message isn't friendly." "Put it through the speakers," Elena ordered. The bridge filled with an otherworldly symphony of sounds. Harmonics layered upon harmonics, creating a complex musical structure that was both beautiful and terrifying. Gradually, the translation. Systems began to interpret the meaning behind the alien music. "Primitive vessel, you will acknowledge the supremacy of the Kethfer Empire immediately. Your species will submit to our authority or face obliteration. We have brought harmony to 47 worlds. Your Earth will be the 48th. Elena exchanged glances with her crew. First contact with an alien civilization, and it was beginning with threats of conquest. "Maya, can you establish a response channel?" "Channel open, Captain." Elena took a deep breath, choosing her words carefully. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the Earth vessel New Horizon. We come in peace as explorers and scientists. We seek knowledge and friendship, not conflict." The alien response came swiftly, the harmonics shifting to darker, more ominous tones. "Your intentions are irrelevant. We are war singer HFY of the Kethfor Empire. We have studied your species from afar. You are weak, discordant beings who create nothing but noise and chaos. Your surrender is inevitable." Dr. Park had been analyzing the alien communications during the exchange. "Captain, there's something fascinating about their language structure. They communicate entirely through complex harmonic patterns. Every word, every concept is expressed through precise musical frequencies. It's as if their entire civilization is built around sound and rhythm." Maya nodded in agreement. "That's not all, Captain. I've been monitoring their internal communications. They never stop making sound. Even when they're not actively talking, There's always some kind of harmonic background. It's like silence is completely foreign to them. Elena felt a spark of an idea forming in her mind. Marcus, what's our current tactical situation? Not good, Captain. One count 35 ships now, each one at least 10 times our size. They've got us surrounded, and their weapon systems are far more advanced than ours. In a direct fight, we wouldn't last 5 minutes. The alien war singer spoke again, the harmonics growing more complex and threatening. Human Captain, you have one rotation of your planet to contact your leaders and arrange the surrender of your species. If you refuse, your world will be cleansed of its discordant noise forever. Elena's mind raced. Earth's entire defensive fleet consisted of maybe 50 ships, most of them exploratory vessels like her own. These aliens had conquered 47 worlds and possessed technology that made human defenses look primitive. But Maya's observation about their constant sound-making had planted a seed of an idea. Dr. Park, you said they never stopped making sound. What do you think would happen if they encountered absolute silence? The xenolinguist considered the question carefully. If their entire communication system, and possibly their technology, is based on harmonic frequencies, silence might be disruptive to them. But we'd need to test that theory. Maya, is there a way to create a localized communication dead zone? Something that could block all sound transmission in a specific area? Maya's eyes lit up with understanding. The ship's sensor array could be reconfigured to generate a null sound field. It would create a bubble of absolute silence around us. But I've never tried anything like that before. Do it, Elena ordered, and prepare to record the alien's reaction. As Maya worked frantically at her station, reconfiguring the ship's systems for this unprecedented experiment, Elena opened a channel to Earth Command. Earth Command, this is Captain Vasquez. We have encountered a hostile alien force. 35. Ships with superior technology demanding Earth's surrender. We're attempting an unconventional defensive strategy. We'll report results shortly. Admiral Sarah Mitchell's voice crackled through the long-range communicator. Captain, did you say? 35 alien warships? Confirmed, Admiral. They call themselves the Kethfer Empire. They've conquered 47 worlds and want to add Earth to their collection. But we may have found something they're not prepared for. What kind of strategy are you talking about, Captain? Elena looked around at her crew, all of them working with desperate determination. We're going to try something that's never been attempted before. We're going to fight them with silence. The alien war singer's voice filled the bridge again. Human vessel, you will respond to our demands immediately. Your time grows short. Maya, are you ready? Elena asked. Null sound field is configured and ready to deploy, Captain. This is either going to be the most brilliant tactical maneuver in human history, or the most spectacular failure. Only one way to find out. Activate the field. Maya pressed the activation key, and suddenly the new horizon was surrounded by a sphere of absolute silence. No sound could enter or leave the area around the ship. The effect on the alien fleet was immediate and dramatic. The harmonious communications that had been constantly flowing between the Kethfor ships suddenly stopped. The silence that followed was more profound than anything the aliens had ever experienced in their entire civilization. Captain, Dr. Park reported, his voice excited, look at their formation. They're breaking apart. The ships are moving erratically, as if they've lost coordination. Through the viewport, Elena could see the alien vessels, which had been moving in perfect harmonic synchronization, now drifting apart in confusion. Some were spinning randomly. Others were flashing lights in what appeared to be desperate attempts to communicate. Asterisk. Maya, can you pick up any of their transmissions outside our silence field? Yes, Captain, and they're in complete panic. The harmonic patterns are chaotic, fragmented. It's like they don't know how to function without constant sound. Elena felt a surge of hope. Humanity's supposed weakness, their ability to embrace and create silence, might actually be their greatest weapon against these musical aliens. Dr. Park, I need you to analyze everything we've learned about their communication patterns. Marcus, start thinking about how we can use this tactically. Maya, see if you can expand the range of our null sound field. The war singer's voice finally broke through from outside their silence bubble, the harmonics now discordant and filled with what could only be described as fear. Human vessel, what have you done? The silence ... it burns. It tears at the fabric of harmony itself. Elena smiled. Grimly. War singer HFY. It seems you've encountered something your empire hasn't faced before. We call it silence, and apparently we're very good at it. The first phase of humanity's most unconventional battle had begun, and the galaxy's most musical conquerors were about to learn that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't the loudest one, but the quietest ... the symphony of silence. The Kethver fleet had retreated to a distance of 10 million kilometers, their perfect formations now scattered and disorganized. War singer HFY's communications reached the new horizon with unprecedented urgency, the harmonics strained and discordant. Human captain, you wield a weapon of unimaginable cruelty. The silence tears at our very essence. We demand you cease this torture immediately. Alana stood at the center of her bridge, watching the tactical display show the alien ships regrouping slowly. Her crew had been working non-stop for 12 hours, expanding their understanding of what they had stumbled upon. Maya, what's the status on our communication with Earth Command? Long-range channel is open, Captain. Admiral Mitchell is standing by with the full Defense Council. Elena activated the channel. Admiral, I need to brief you on what we've discovered. The Kethver Empire isn't just technologically advanced. They're biologically dependent on constant harmonic communication. Silence isn't just uncomfortable for them, it's potentially lethal. Admiral Mitchell's voice carried the weight of Earth's desperate situation. Captain, we've been monitoring your reports. Our entire defense fleet is mobilizing, but even with every ship we have, we're outgunned 50-1. If this silence weapon of yours works, we need to understand how to use it on a larger scale. Dr. Park had been studying the alien physiology data they'd managed to gather. Admiral, I believe the Kethver evolved in an environment where sound is essential for survival. Their technology, their biology, even their consciousness might be tied to harmonic frequencies. When we create absolute silence, we're not just blocking their communications, we're attacking the fundamental basis of their existence. How do we weaponize this discovery? Admiral Mitchell asked. Elena had been considering this question since their first successful test. We coordinate a planet-wide silence protocol. Every ship, every space station, every communication array creates overlapping null sound fields. We turn Earth's entire defensive network into a symphony of silence. Chief Engineer Rosa Santos, who had been quietly working on expanding their null sound technology, looked up from her console. Captain, I've managed to boost our field generator's range by 300%. If we can get our entire fleet to install similar systems, we could create silence zones spanning thousands of cubic kilometers. The war singer's voice interrupted their planning, the alien's harmonics now carrying notes of desperation. Human Captain, we offer new terms. Your species may continue to exist under Kethver protection. We will not cleanse your world if you abandon this weapon of silence. Elena exchanged looks with her crew. The aliens were negotiating now, not demanding. War singer, your empire has conquered 47 worlds. What makes you think we should trust your protection? Those worlds embraced harmony willingly once they understood our superiority. Your species creates discord, chaos, noise without purpose. But this silence, this is something else entirely. something we cannot overcome through conventional means. Maya had been monitoring the Kethver fleet's communications. Captain, they're calling for reinforcements. I'm detecting massive harmonic pulses being sent toward their home systems. They're scared. Admiral Mitchell's voice crackled through the communicator. Captain, we're implementing your silence protocol across all Earth defenses. Every ship station and installation is being fitted with null sound generators based on your specifications. We'll be ready in 18 hours. Elena felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. They were about to test a completely theoretical weapon system against an enemy that had never been defeated. Admiral, we need to coordinate this perfectly. The Kethver depend on harmonic synchronization. If we can create overlapping fields of silence, we might be able to completely disrupt their ability to function as a coordinated force. Dr. Park had made another discovery. Captain, I've been analyzing their distress calls. The Kethver don't just use sound for communication. They use it for navigation, for power distribution, even for basic life support. Their ships are like floating symphonies, with every system operating in harmonic resonance. What happens if we disrupt that resonance? Elena asked. Based on what we've observed, their ships lose coordination, their weapon systems become unstable, and their crews experience something like sensory deprivation. But Captain, there's something else. I think they're genuinely afraid of permanent silence. It might represent a form of death to them that we can't fully comprehend. Elena considered this information carefully. The power they had discovered was incredible, but it came with tremendous responsibility. Maya, open a channel to the Warsinger. Channel open, Captain. Warsinger HFY, I want to understand something. Why do you conquer other worlds? What does your empire gain from forcing harmony on other species? The alien's response carried new harmonics, complex emotions that the translation system struggled to interpret. Captain Elena, we bring order to chaos. Every world we encounter is filled with discordant noise, random sounds that serve no purpose. We teach them the beauty of organized harmony, the peace that comes from synchronized existence. But what if a species finds peace in silence? What if our discord is actually our own form of harmony? There was a long pause before the Warsinger responded. We have never encountered a species that could create true silence. In our understanding, silence is the absence of life, the end of all existence. How can you embrace something so terrible? Elena suddenly understood. To the Kethver, silence wasn't just uncomfortable. It was the equivalent of death itself. But to humans, silence could be peaceful, contemplative, a space for thought and reflection. Warsinger, what if I told you that silence isn't death to you? What if it's actually one of our greatest tools for understanding the universe? The alien fleet had been slowly approaching again, but now they stopped, maintaining their distance. Explain this concept, Captain. How can the absence of sound be a tool? Elena looked at her crew, seeing the hope in their eyes. In silence, we think, we reflect. We find solutions to problems that noise cannot solve. The silence that terrifies you is the same silence that allowed us to discover how to communicate with you in the first place. Dr. Park leaned forward, excitement in his voice. Captain, what if we've been thinking about this wrong? What if instead of using silence as a weapon, we use it as a form of communication? I'm listening, Doctor. We create patterns of silence and sound like a reverse version of their harmonic language. We could teach them that silence isn't death. It's just another form of expression. Maya's eyes lit up with understanding. We could create a harmonic dialogue, alternating between their sound-based communication and our silence-based communication. Elena made a decision that would change the course of human-alien relations forever. Maya, modify our null sound generator. Instead of creating constant silence, I want you to create patterns, pulses of silence between harmonic tones. As Maya worked on the modifications, Elena opened the channel to the war singer again. Zephi, we're going to try something unprecedented. We're going to teach you our language of silence. This is impossible. Silence cannot carry meaning. Let us show you. Maya activated the modified system, and suddenly the space around the new horizon filled with an entirely new form of communication. Patterns of silence and sound created a rhythm that was both alien and familiar, a bridge between two completely different ways of understanding the universe. The effect on the Kethver fleet was immediate, but different from before. Instead of panic, there was curiosity. The ships began to move in new patterns, trying to match the rhythm of silence and sound. "Captain," Dr. Park reported, his voice filled with wonder, "they're learning. They're actually trying to communicate using our patterns." The war singer's voice came through the channel, but now it was different. Between the harmonic words, there were spaces, small moments of silence that carried their own meaning. "Captain Elena, this is beautiful. We have never experienced communication like this before." Elena smiled, feeling the tension that had gripped her crew for hours finally beginning to ease. "War singer, perhaps there's room in the galaxy for both harmony and silence. Perhaps conquest isn't the only way to bring order to the universe. Your species has shown us something we thought impossible. The silence you create isn't the end of existence. It's a new form of existence we never imagined." Admiral Mitchell's voice came through the communicator, filled with amazement. "Captain, we're receiving similar communications from Kethvar. Fleets throughout the galaxy. They're standing down from their attack positions and requesting dialogue." Elena looked out at the alien fleet, no longer seeing conquerors, but seeing fellow beings who had just learned that the universe was far more complex and beautiful than they had ever imagined. "War singer, would your empire be interested in learning more about the balance between sound and silence? We have much to teach each other. Captain Elena, we formally withdraw our demand for Earth's surrender. Instead, we request permission to establish the first Harmonic Silence Academy, where both our species can learn to communicate in ways we never thought possible." As the New Horizon and the Kethver fleet began working together to establish this new form of communication, Elena realized that humanity's greatest weapon hadn't been their technology or their firepower. It had been their ability to find strength in what others saw as weakness, to turn silence into a bridge instead of a barrier. The galaxy would never be the same, and for the first time in their history, the Kethver Empire had learned that true harmony sometimes required the courage to embrace the spaces between the notes. Asterisk,